Hey, welcome back. Um, so we just had the big natural disaster in our area. Hurricane Helene came through. There was massive flooding. We ourselves were in a relatively sheltered area. We didn't experience flooding, flood damage, trees down, but there were some areas that the damage was so massive they will be struggling with power for months. Connectivity to cell service and the internet was cut off for a lot of people, and in some cases, it's still pretty challenging. Radio was the only communication method for a while, and and so one of the things that I like doing is kind of I guess the way to put it is the after action report. Okay, what worked, what didn't work. I had a 2 meter mobile that I used inside with a power pack from Harbor Freight. I'll probably be doing some highlights on that hardware at some point in a future video. I had a little mobile tram antenna for it that I mounted on top of a cookie sheet. I didn't do anything fancy with the antenna placement. It was in the living room along with the radio. Could have done more. But it was enough that I was able to communicate back and forth with the 2 meter repeater that has some pretty good coverage in our area, and hear what was going on, ask a question or two of some things that we wanted to find out. There were some pretty important items. And it had me thinking, okay, well, what could have done better? What gaps do we have in our communication plan? One of the big things that I think for us personally is the short range local communication walkie-talkie. We've got some cheap blister pack radios, the FRS. Not really happy with the ones we've got. We don't have them charged. I didn't have them charged ahead of time, and so we didn't even use them. So I want to think about how I'm going to do differently with that. Now the Baofangs, I've got a couple of these. This one right now I've got it plugged into a different antenna than the whip, and it looks like somebody's on one of the local UHF frequencies at the moment. But I think better antennas to cover that. This is a tri-bander. The antenna I've got, it does better for receiving for 2 meter and 440, but the 220 band we wouldn't want to transmit on the antenna we've got. Um, I've got one whip antenna I think that would be good for that. And so that's another thing that I'm thinking through is with our radios that we have, what could we do as far as being able to receive if in many cases the repeaters were down in this area. Several of them lost power after 3, 4 days. Um, it, it, the initial storm knocked some out, and so hit or miss as far as finding what worked. And if we had a situation where the 2 meter repeaters were down and the 440s were the only ones reachable, did I have adapters to get my antenna down to one of the handhelds? Because I don't have a mobile UHF, I only have the handheld. And so lots of question marks there as what else should we do to try and get ready on those. I've reorganized a lot of my local frequency lists. I've gone back to keeping a notepad next to me, or at least my phone with Google Keep, where I can make notes if I notice a frequency that's active that, maybe it sounds like there's a net going on, and, maybe I want to make notes of in fact, the one that's receiving right now is a UHF frequency that I hadn't realized was active locally. You'll look up in repeater book and radio reference and find the local repeaters. And I had no idea that this one got a lot of activity because for the longest time, scanning on this radio got interrupted because we live not too far from the airport. And when I first got it, I was really ambitious. I programmed all the local air frequencies, and every time I tried to scan, it would stop on their ATIS and their weather, and I just stopped scanning with it. And so I've gone back, I've revised my setup where it's not going to get stuck on a frequency anymore like that, unless it's an amateur radio, or I think I've got marine band programmed into this one because we're near um, some bodies of water as well. But just going through that analysis of what worked, what didn't, and what could I do so that next time we're better prepared than we were this time. So that one of the phrases that has been on my mind is the idea of thriving in adversity. So that even if there's this horrible natural disaster, hey, yeah, we're good. In fact, it's kind of fun. It's a challenge. I remember I was in college. We had a big blizzard, 3 feet of snow, power went out. We had to carry water from the creek to flush toilets. We had the back porch roof cave in. I mean, it was kind of fun. We had the wood stove in the basement. We were good. We were able to cook down there. We were able to put the food out in the ice in the cold. Um, we did pretty well through it. We were fairly well prepared. Could we have been more prepared? Yeah, probably so. I mean, we had AM radios. We were able to hear the news from outside, but could we have had better ways of talking back and forth when we're out collecting water? Yes, we could have. We could have had better ways of doing a lot of things. Um, I also remember seeing the video footage of Hurricane Katrina, and amidst all the devastation and people being rescued off of rooftops by helicopter, I remember the camera panned to one house where they were having the time of their lives. They had a backyard pool above ground. You could see the sandbags all around. You could see they had somebody at the grill cooking. They had laid in preparations beforehand, and they were riding it out. And they were doing okay. It is possible. Now, obviously, some very tragic things happen when natural disasters come along, and this last one has really left a mark on our region that will probably last for 30 years or more. It's really been profound how catastrophic the flooding has been, but it is possible to pick up and thrive in that adversity and to plan for next time and to plan how am I going to prepare us better for the next snowstorm that comes, next blizzard, the next, if the, tornado comes through and knocks out this, if we have another hurricane, if we have a massive earthquake or other, maybe it's a man-made disaster, who knows? Um, but I feel like the more you prepare, the more likely you are to be able to make it through whatever that next crisis is, with a lot less stress. Um, in any case, thanks for stopping by. Go ahead and make your assessment. What happened this last time? What worked? What didn't? What can I do better next time? You got homework to do. We all do. Thanks. Take care. Make sure to like and subscribe and check back later.